What up, YouTube? In this video, I'm going to show how I set up a whole house generator for backup power for my house. Since I've moved into my house, I've lost power for over a week at a time, 2 times, because I'm kind of out in the swamp a little bit, and also I'm at the very end of the service line for my power company. Um, Literally down on the other side of the road is a different power company. So seems like I'm always the last one to get power. And I do have a generator that was given to me, a Craftsman 5600 watts. And the first time I lost power, I used that generator just to exclusively pump water since I'm on a well. And it worked fine, but it was a little finicky. Gas The carburetor was messed up. The carburetor kind of overflowed, and I put a new carburetor on it. Bought a new carburetor for it, but I could never get that thing to run right. So this last time, after the hurricane, when I lost power for 5 days, I believe, I actually didn't get it out at all because I just didn't feel like messing with it. And I took my perishables over to my neighbor's house who have a Generac whole house generator set up, and let them keep my perishables, and then I just roughed it for those days. And I have several neighbors around me have bought the Generac system. I know it's well over $10,000, and you got to install a propane tank and all this stuff. And mostly their demographic of people who installed that are all kind of elderly who don't want to handle gas tanks and whatnot. But I just kind of had this mindset since it's just me, I would just rough it every time I lost power. But my friend reached out to me and asked for help installing a generator hookup outlet because he bought a whole house generator. And when he showed me his whole house generator and I went over there and I helped him install the outlet, I was really surprised. I just never really thought that you could get a whole house generator in portable form. I thought they had to be big monstrous. I can't speak. Monstrous. I guess monstrous is what I'm trying to think of. I don't know why I'm trying to say it all weird. I thought whole house generators had to be these big monster things. And then when he showed me the price of it, I was really surprised how affordable it was. And then on top of all that, and then I thought it was a little bit of a gimmick, but then when we went and hooked up his outlet and then ran a test run on his generator, I was really surprised how much stuff it run. I mean, we had his pool pump and his whole central AC going, and that thing was keeping up. So I thought to myself, man, I need to look into getting one of these things. So I was just keeping my eye out, and then on Amazon, it went on sale. So when it went on sale, I went ahead and grabbed it. And at first I thought I was going to have to pay freight shipping, but somehow I didn't have to pay freight shipping, and they sent a box truck to my house and unloaded it. So I decided to try to follow everything from the book in this video on getting it set up. So as you can see, I'm unboxing it here, and I'm going and doing its first run. I went out and bought 1030 conventional oil, which I found out is really hard to get. It's hard to get a non-synthetic blend oil anymore. Actually, Walmart didn't have any. I had to go to AutoZone, and they only had one. So that's what they recommend. They recommend using non-synthetic oil for the first 8 hours, and they also recommend for the break-in period, which is 8 hours, to keep it on a small load. So that's what I did. I just ran it for 8 hours with 2 fans plugged into it, and got my runtime up. And while I was doing that, I went ahead and installed a generator hookup outlet. Now, when I installed my friend's outlet, he bought a kit that was off of Amazon, and I was really disappointed in the build quality of that kit. It didn't seem like it was good quality at all. In fact, we had to put a zip tie on the box to keep it closed because the way the box was designed, it wouldn't it only had one screw, and that screw had a slotted hole instead of a closed hole. So it was like the pressure of the wires, since the wires are 6 gauge, since you need for that for this, it was really chintzy. So what I decided to do is, off of Amazon, I bought a name brand outlet box, and I also thought his cord was a little chintzy too, the way the plastic was. So I bought a cord separately too. And to tell you the truth, I bought both of these used off of Amazon. Amazon had option to buy these used, so I bought both of them used, and it was pretty much the same price as buying the cheap kit that they sell off of Amazon. So I highly recommend going this route, even if you're going to spend more dollars, especially on the box. The outlet box is well worth the extra money. Although, as you can see in this video, me installing my own outlet box, it still, the wires, the 6 gauge wires, are so tough. The outlet box was under a lot of pressure when I was putting it together. But the way the box is set up, once you get it together, it's not going to slide apart. It's all locked together. But yeah, even that plastic of this outlet box, even though this is the name brand one, when I was trying to put it all together, like, the plastic was kind of bending a little. But the way the outlet box is designed, that the cover goes over the sides, it ends up making it nice and solid once it's all put together. And so I ran 6 gauge from this outlet box, and I installed a brand new dual pole breaker, 50 amps, on my breaker panel. And luckily I had 2 free slots left on my breaker panel. And by code, by the way, if you're going to do it this way, you have to install an interlock that prevents you from turning on the breaker panel going to the outlet and your main at the same time. It's like an interlock kit that makes it so you can only turn either or at a time. So once I got it all together and installed, and I had the 8 hours ran on the generator, it was time to go and run the whole house, do a test setup. So I turned off my main breaker, plugged in the generator, turned on the generator, I let it get started, and then I turned on the 50 amp breaker feeding the panel. And then I just went one by one and turned on all my circuits. My heavy loads in my house are, I have a hot water heater that's electric. I have an oven that's electric. My well pump is 240 volts too, but the well pump isn't that much power, but it is a 240 breaker. Now I have because my house used to be a trailer, and half of it's a trailer and half of it's an addition, I do have a breaker panel in the house. So I have this breaker panel that the outlet box is hooked up to. It feeds a sub panel in the house, and I also have another sub panel in my garage. So one by one I turned all these things on, and I was surprised. As you can see here, the voltage is staying up. Now, and running the air conditioner runs just fine. Now, the thing about it is, I was telling my other friend who's an HVAC guy about this, and people recommend putting soft starts in your air conditioners when you have a generator. And he recommended it too. I was thinking about not doing that, but he recommended it too because he says it is hard on your generator when the AC kicks on. So he actually had a hard start kit lying around, not a soft start, a hard start kit. So I went and I installed that on my AC unit. And actually, either way, I'm glad I did, because the compressor sounds a lot more healthier now turning on. My AC unit's 11 years old now. It was installed in 2013. So it's 11 years old now. So, and it still works great, but it definitely sounds a lot healthier. So I'm glad I installed this hard start kit. So I recommend, if you're going to do this, do that. And like I said, when the AC kicked on running off the generator, it kept up just fine, blew nice and cold. With the AC running, I did turn on one of my burners on the oven, and I heard the generator go under load when I turned on that burner on the oven, but everything kept on running. And as you can see here, I'm checking my voltage. This voltage right here is with the AC running, not the oven, just AC. And as you can see, the voltage is staying up. And another thing is, one of my favorite YouTubers to watch, Old 64 Goat, he has a whole video series about his generator set up, and he always talks about how his UPSs for his computers and whatnot aren't happy with his generator. They constantly click on and off. They just don't like the power coming from the generator. Now, I have several UPSs in my house because I get a lot of brownouts in my house, but this one that you're looking at right now is my biggest UPS that feeds my computer, my TV, and my entertainment system. So this is a higher power UPS. And as you can see, the hertz is a little high than 60 hertz. So the generator is outputting a little higher than 60 hertz, but not too bad. And when I went back on mains, I went and I checked this again, and it's when you're on mains, it's solid 60 hertz, no oscillation. But as you can see, the UPS is happy with the power coming in from the generator. It's not clicking on and off, and it's running just fine. So after all that, after I got my 8 hours on the generator, I tested the house setup. Everything worked fine. I was really happy. So I decided I've been following the books to the T. So after I did that, I had 8 hours on the generator. I went and I drained the oil, and the oil, I put it in like a flat oil pan because there wasn't enough room, and I didn't feel like trying to put the generator on wood blocks or what have you. I want to say I felt like there's a little bit of gas in the oil. I don't know if it's just me going crazy or not. So I'm glad I changed the oil after 8 hours, and I put a 10W30 synthetic blend back into it. And I drained the gas out of the tank, and I took the drain plug off the carburetor bowl and let that come out. Now, very few, hardly any bit of gas came out of the carburetor bowl, but I went ahead and did that. So the tank is empty, carburetor bowl is empty. And by the way, I only ran ethanol-free gas through it this time, so hopefully that'll prevent any gum up of any residual gas in there. On all my lawn equipment, I'm a big fan of running exclusively ethanol-free. And putting 8 hours on this generator and just running 2 fans, I filled up a gas can with ethanol-free, fresh ethanol-free gas when I started this, 4.5 gallons, and it used probably less than 4 gallons for 8 hours, but that's with hardly any load on it. And then finally, I installed a plug. I have a battery tender, and I went on Amazon and I bought an extra connector for the battery tender, and I installed that on the generator so that if I have periodically, I'll take it out and plug it into the battery tender, and then at least I don't have to worry about undoing that cover. I can just plug it straight into that connector. Or if the storms come in, I can plug it into the battery tender, make sure the battery works. And I also, according to the directions, if you're going to store it more than 30 days, they recommend pouring 2 tablespoons of oil down into the cylinder, and with down the spark plug hole on the cylinder, remove the spark plug, put 2 tablespoons of oil in it, and they recommend just cranking it a little bit to get that oil lubed up in the cylinder. That way your cylinder doesn't rust. So I did that, and yeah, overall I'm really happy with my purchase. Hopefully I won't have to use it, but the first time I use this, it's going to be well worth the money, and I thought it was very affordable. Definitely check out these DuroMax generators, and check them out when they go on sale on Amazon. You can get a really good deal when they go on sale on Amazon. Oh yeah, and I did, as you can see probably earlier in the video, the very first time I ran it, I did try the propane, and it ran fine off of propane. But most of the hours I used it with ethanol-free gas. But yeah, so I have it all set up and all ready for storage, and hopefully like I said, I followed all the instructions to the T, so hopefully in a time of an emergency, it'll be ready to go. And I thought I would just share this video about how I have my whole house generator set up, and it was very not intrusive. Man, I'm not good with my words. It wasn't intrusive to install, as if when I watch my neighbors get their Generac installed, that's a very intrusive setup. Now, the benefit to them is they have an auto transfer switch, and that thing cuts on right away. Here, based off the past 2 hurricanes I've been through, both hurricanes came through in the middle of the night. So what I would probably do is not even worry about the generator, and then wait till morning when the hurricane passes to plug in the generator. And that way I'll keep my fridge going, and I'll keep my whole house cool. I am prima donna, I guess you can say, when it comes to air conditioning. I'm not a Florida native, so you know, I will love this, being able to have whole house AC when I don't have power. And I do also have a backup window unit in case for some reason I can't run my whole house AC. But yeah, so that's my setup. Hopefully I won't have to use it, but like I said, the first time I need to use it, I think it's going to be well worth the money I invested in it. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.